Hey everyone, welcome to our new podcast, our only podcast.
Woo!
It's
I mean,
called,
it still is new.
yeah, this is the first episode of We Be Talking. Obviously, there's a play on words there. Uh,
Just no, go ahead and explain it.
no, take it how you will. But basically, what this podcast is going to be is how we actually started our channel. If any of you have been around since the beginning, we started off as a podcast channel. It didn't last very long, but now we're going back, changing it up, everything. So we'll be talking about mostly anime, video games, possibly movies, or anything else we want to talk about that comes up like relevant.
Right.
But we mostly know anime and video games.
Yeah, I'm sure a large portion of it, or a decent portion of it, will be anime, since that's kind of, our thing. But we'll touch other topics,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah, exactly.
So,
So first of all, I do want to address like the format's going to be like segments broken down from like anime, like news, what's going on, and then a topic that we're going to discuss. And then the next segment will be like games, the news, what's topics, basically that format. And of course, we're going to end every episode with like a section for like listener comments, feedbacks, corrections, questions, anything like that. So be sure to comment down below. If you don't want to comment publicly on YouTube, we do have an email. You can email us to at couchtalkyt@gmail.com, or you can DM us or tweet at us on Twitter, which is couchtalkyt. Yeah, that's our Twitter handle.
at Twitter.
At Twitter.
At the site twitter.com.
So yeah, those are gonna be ways that
we also have a Discord that you can join.
Yeah, we do have that. Interact there.
Yeah, we'll make a podcast section.
Yeah, and that will be in the description below for YouTube. I may one day get this on other places like Spotify, iTunes, whatever, but those is a really pain to do, but I don't want to go through the mess. So right now it's just stay on YouTube. Anyway, we'll just go ahead and start talking about anime since jumping straight into the first segment. So obviously to help you guys get to know us some, that way we can all get to know each other. What's your favorite anime, Logan?
My favorite anime.
Did we introduce ourselves? No. By the way, guys, I'm Justin.
Oh, what is up? I'm Logan. I thought we did, but I don't actually know.
Anyway, Logan, what is your favorite anime?
My favorite anime. So, of all time?
Yeah.
Okay. Of all time.
That's what favorite means.
Well, I mean, it could be like favorite I'm currently watching.
True, we could do that.
I'm gonna do that anyway. But my favorite of all time is definitely Steins Gate. Like, it's sci-fi thriller. It's super crazy. Like, I don't even know how to I can't describe it. Bunch of friends mess around with the microwave and destruction ensues.
That's a one way to describe it.
That was a poorly, but like the whole like logical first of all, it deals with time travel like super well. Like, it's one of the best I've seen throughout all media.
Yeah, definitely the best when it comes to time travel, period.
Right, it's like very logical. It makes a bunch of sense. It sets rules. It follows these rules all the time. I mean, I'm sure you can find like some things here and there, but you have to like really dig to find mistakes. But it's just super. I don't want to make it say like smart. That makes it sound like, oh, you have to have a high IQ to understand.
What you don't.
No, but it's just like the whole journey of the whole time travel just gets crazier and crazier. It's emotional, it's intense, it's suspenseful. Like, it takes you everywhere, and it's just my favorite.
Yeah, let me ask you that. Do you like Steins Gate Zero more than Steins Gate? Like, obviously we haven't finished Steins Gate Zero, but did you enjoy Steins Gate more than you are enjoying Steins Gate Zero at this point?
I mean, that's hard to answer, obviously, because Steins Gate Zero is not done yet. But I am actually enjoying Steins Gate Zero a lot, like a ton. I'd say it's on par. Like, it's up there in the same tier of my enjoyment. Like they're just yeah, it's a perfect sequel so far. Like it doesn't feel forced like a forced sequel, and it is a sequel that's like takes a very unique take to it. That makes sense.
Yeah,
It
it
makes
does.
sense in my head.
I'll just say it makes sense to make you feel better.
Oh, thank you.
So I
But
guess
enough of my
yeah.
favorite anime. Let's get your favorite anime.
So yeah, mine's. You got to go back for this one, okay? Ooh, Trigun. It's always gonna be one of my favorites. It's like, first of all, I cannot tell you what the first anime I watched is. Some people are gonna ask that question down below, like, "Oh, what was the first one you watched?" I don't know. It's just like people always ask, "What was the first game you played?" I don't know. But the point is, like, Trigun's one of those early ones I can remember. Uh, just a really fun anime. It's got the old Western style to it, which I'm a huge fan of, like kind of like that old Western style. And the main character is just hilarious. Vash the Stampede. One of my First of all, Vash is just a cool name. Throwing it out there, but
I mean, it's a
just
pretty cool name.
It is a cool name. It's just a fun anime, and also it holds up. Some anime you can be like, oh, you go watch them again. It's like, oh, these don't hold up. I should have left them in my childhood memories. But Trigun truly holds up. I've seen it more than any other anime. I've watched it at least 20 plus times. It's something it's something I always go back to. You know how everyone has something they go back to, whether it be a video game or anime TV or something like that.
Rewatchability.
Yeah, the rewatchability. That's why when we do reviews, when we do full reviews, I always talk about rewatchability being like a score for me, because that matters a lot to me actually. And Trigun hits all the points I need out of an
That's
anime.
kind of strange because I don't really rewatch like if I've seen anime, I don't like rewatch all of it, but I will like rewatch certain episodes or certain moments. Like the super cool moments or the hype moments or the emotional moments. It's strange. It's not that I'm against rewatching it. It's just that's what I find myself doing more.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I remember that one fight. Let me go look it up.
See, that's something I don't really do at all. I don't like, if I rewatch from the beginning all the way through. Like, it's rare for me to rewatch just an episode. But, that's a little bit about us. Let's just jump into the lack of anime news really this week.
There has been a lack of anime news. I think mainly.
I don't see it in my feeds as much, I guess, as I do.
Yeah, there's not much to, I guess, break news to, unless like a new anime announced or something.
So like what happened is, My Hero Academia released a new movie in Japan yesterday.
It did have a new movie. Its first movie, which, movies are usually popular with the big shonens. So
yeah, they usually do pump out like movies after movies when it comes to shonens at a certain point.
I was gonna say this is probably the first of many. Maybe. There'll probably be a couple more, would be my bet.
For sure, especially if this one does really well. But
yeah,
it won't be reaching the US until Funimation's bringing it over on September 25th. We could possibly get it sooner, I guess, depending on how. Well, no, because it hits theater first or whatever in Japan, I'm guessing. So you want to see fan translations coming out, unless you want some really poor quality. So Funimation's bringing it September 25th, so that'll probably be the first we'll get to look at it.
I did read a bit that it's kind like, because most movies aren't like canon,
Yeah.
But I
sometimes
I saw.
Sad.
Yeah, but I saw this one that the writer was like very involved in certain aspects are canon, or he said it like things from the movie could have an influence in the manga down the line. So it's like kind of canon.
Weird. That's kind of like opposite. Like
right.
to affect the manga, that'd be weird.
Oh, I'm guessing. Well, we haven't seen it, so we're just speculating. I'm guessing it's something like maybe, I don't know,
maybe like a side character or something that could come back later.
Right, or like maybe a character did something, or had a certain weakness or something that came back later, or something like that.
I mean,
I don't think it's something.
Like, yeah, it could be something like not canon, but they like that they want to bring it in, or something like that.
Obviously, it's not going to be like some major like.
Sometimes I would wish the movies had more like play on the animes or whatever. Sometimes they
Yeah.
don't. A lot of times they don't. But that's
Yeah, I'd
a
say
separate topic.
almost all the time they don't.
Yeah, sometimes that's kind of saddening. But the other thing is, at least in Europe, Durarara is being removed from Netflix at the end of this month. So if you haven't seen it, better watch that shit right before it goes away. It's actually the last anime I watched dubbed.
I have not seen Durarara. The name always makes me chuckle a bit, though.
It's kind of weird because
Dural times 3.
I haven't watched anything like dubbed in like ages or whatever. Like it's been a long time.
I haven't.
And Durarara was like back when like the first season came out. Was like in the time where I was like watching dubbed. So
Right.
of course
If you
continuity issues. I had to finish it all dubbed. It was the last
If
one I
you
watched. I
ignore,
never did it again.
Fooly Cooley, the last thing I watched dub was forever ago.
Yeah, exactly. But it's one of
Yeah,
my
they just
Durarara is one of my top 10. Just getting that out there. So do
are
highly
they just
recommend it.
removing it just because? Like,
Yeah, like you know how Netflix is. They just drop things
Okay.
periodically.
well, I didn't know if it was like some story like Durarara caused 100 seizures.
If it
last
was,
week.
I did not read that deep into it. I just saw a headline that said it's being removed in Europe at the end of August. And I was like, all right. But that's mostly the news, so not
yeah,
too much.
anime is
I mean, obviously, you guys can let us know if there's anything more, and we'll bring it up next episode. But let's just jump into our topic, though. Like, what is the most important thing to you in anime? So this could be like to your score or whatever. Like to me, I'll just go ahead and go first. The most important thing to me in an anime is the characters. I bring this up a lot in the reviews. If I like the characters, I'm more easily to be involved in the anime. Like the story, like even if the story's bad, if I really like the characters, I can stick through it and watch the anime through its entirety. Whereas if the characters are terrible, I'm more likely to drop it quickly. Even if the story's good, it's like, well, I can't connect to these characters. I can't feel for these characters. They bore me. And it's like really hard for me to stick through it.
that makes sense. I mean, characters are always important. Like, so you would rather have a superb character with a trash story than vice versa.
Yes.
I mean, that makes sense.
So,
I could see that. There are shows where like a main character can carry the show.
yeah.
Like,
There's some where side characters can do it too.
right.
I can't think of
Like,
any
if
off
you
the
have-
top of my head, but that's really hard to do. Because I know, like, thought I'd ask this because some people, the action's the most important part. Sometimes it's the music, but for me, it's always the characters.
For me, the most important. Ooh, this is a tough question because I don't want to be like a cop out answer. Be like, well, everything is important. But ooh, I'd say characters are up there for me, definitely. Like, but I don't think it's. I'd say story is probably the most important for me. Like, well, this is actually really tough. Like, this is super. I guess, like, if it gets an emotional response from me, actually, and that doesn't mean like, oh, I had fun watching it. Like, obviously, that would make a good anime. But like, if the sad moments like make me cry or make me feel sad for like the character or for the situation, if like the hype moments get me excited, if like a character does something wrong that should like anger you, if
So
that pisses me
emotional
off,
attachment,
right? So
something
if
where you
it,
can be attached through the ups and downs.
right, something that like draws a emotional response from me, like a fitting one, not like something amazing happened and I thought it was stupid and funny, but like something I can get attached to, I guess. That's a good way to word it. We have
Yo.
very different views on anime.
That's the point, man. Have
I know,
whole
like-
discussion, like it helps with our reviews and everything. Just like, sometimes we influence each other with what we say, and it's like changes how we thought about an episode or whatever. That's the whole. See, when you have differing opinions,
Right. It would be lame if we were just like, yeah, I agree with everything.
agree with her. Same,
Same
But
here.
All right, so next thing is, what do you dislike most in an anime?
I could make a list,
I
dude.
feel like, what is the thing you dislike the most? Let's put it there. So
The
like,
most?
I feel like I know we've talked about things that are very similar, and this could possibly end up being the same.
It could. I think it will. Besides, like, the weird sexualization of, like, younger appearing females, like, that's just annoying and dumb in every way. If I ignore that, I would say harems are probably the worst thing to happen in animes. Everything about, unless there's a purpose for it, like, unless the story revolves around a harem, either in a comedic sense or like in a love triangle sense, that's
Well,
not
a
really a harem.
triangle, yeah, a triangle is acceptable in my mind.
Right, a love triangle is not a harem. Okay, so for example, let me just give an example of an anime that did this
Sword art.
incorrectly. Correct. Right, sword art. Literally, literally every character in that show that's a female likes Kirito. Every character.
Like it gets so badly they start to ignore Kirito's feelings for Austin.
Right. That's what's so. You ruin so many. First of all, you ruin Kirito's character because it's just annoying how like everyone fawns over him and like he has the same emotional response to all. It's like, we are friends. I am male, you are female. I'm gonna go do Kirito things, and every action you do has no like purpose or no reasoning whatsoever. And like on the other side of that, every girl is like defined by their how much they like Kirito. Like I feel like Asuna was just ruined because she became a damsel in distress for Kirito. It's like this
Yeah,
girl
that's
was like
the other thing. Like for me, I agree it's harems, but like the other thing that I think is like just how all the women characters are just like in any anime are just like kind of written weakly a lot of the times to make them just to be that damsel in distress, even though they
right.
it's like a lot of times I feel like it's just weak writing or they don't like they just kind of forget about those characters and their what they've gone through and perspectives because like yeah like Austin just became that badass to a damsel in distress that needs the man in her life to save her.
Right. They use it to like prop up the main character. But there's tons of different ways you can do it. Like it doesn't have to be like, oh, this girl likes him and she's useless now and he's gonna do everything. Like there's actually quite a few anime that don't have strong female characters. Like I feel like Naruto doesn't really have
No, it struggles a lot in the beginning, especially like Sakura just always, you know, oh, I need them to do everything for me. Even at
right.
like the end, she was still kind of that way.
I
Like,
feel like there isn't really a super strong female character in Naruto now that I think about
no,
it.
there's not. That's like one of the things I've talked with about with people. Like, they just think they're all kind of like that weak damsel in distress most of the time. And
Right. And if they're like there's always a like someone in front of them that like makes the decisions for them or like kind of overshadows them, I guess you could say.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. But like, also the one of the things I don't like about Harems is like it's just every time a girl meets the guy, it's instant. They're
Right.
infatuated with him. Like,
It's
there's
like
no realism there. It's just instant.
hard eyes,
Just instant. It's
Cupid
like
shooting arrows.
it's,
He's so dreamy. It's
it's,
like God.
it's he's like it's like come on, let's get real. But so yeah, I don't have any more topics to jump into. We don't want to go into a whole bunch of topics every podcast. So
You know,
keeping
man,
it simple for
list
this one.
everything I dislike about anime.
Yeah, man. It was like everything just thrown into one. So, let's see. Next segment is video games. So let's just again start with what's your favorite video game?
Wow, my favorite video game. That's actually a tough one. Actually, no, it's not. I'm a liar. Halo 3 is by far my favorite.
Yeah, I was like, what
I
do you
don't know
mean a
why
tough one?
I don't know why I suddenly forgot about it. Like, Halo 3 is 100% my favorite. Like, the campaign was awesome. First of all, this is probably a big influence. It was my first Xbox Live game. It was the first game I played on Xbox Live. And Halo Combat Evolved was the first Xbox game I ever got. So, like, obviously, I played Halo all the time. When I got Xbox Live for Halo 3, I played it every day. That's not even an exaggeration. Every single day for a few hours a day. But it just had everything I wanted from a game. Like, it had, if you wanted to go play casual, they had a ton of casual things you could do. Like, if you wanted to play competitive, they had all these ranked ladders you could play. Like, everything about it just felt really balanced, really fair. I don't know, I just love it. And then it went away.
I'm not gonna persuade you, man. Halo 3 was a great game.
It's 100% my favorite.
Well, my favorite game actually recently changed. For the longest time, it was
Ooh.
Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, which I've talked a lot about. Anyone that knows a Fire Emblem game, it's the one with Ike. So, which everyone knows who Ike is if you played a Super Smash Brothers game.
You mean that guy from Smash?
So that was my favorite. But I've always like the one game I reflect on the most is Persona 3. And so that one's recently kind of taken the #1 spot and pushed Fire Emblem down. Mostly because that one actually had more impact on me as a person. Whereas Fire Emblem was like the one I enjoyed a lot as a game. But Persona 3 really made me look back on myself as well when playing it. So not
That
only
makes sense.
and it had like really strong characters, relatable. I could connect with the main character, even though a lot of it was kind of dark. They're very dark games, but so yeah, I was able to just really relatable and made me reflect on myself as a person. And not very many games can do that. It's very rare. So
I'd say it'd take a special type of game to actually. I mean, my game was just for fun. Like,
I
I
mean
could
that's how
see.
Fire Emblem was, but like Persona 1's like the one I still think about it, and I haven't played it. You know, I played it
Yeah, I could. There are
five
some
six
games
years
like
ago.
that I have. Not as severe or like as intense, but I can see some games that I've played that have had like a similar effect, I guess you could say. But yeah. Have you seen the Persona 3 anime?
They're movies, so
Oh, they're movies? I
yeah,
thought they
it's
were
not.
animes.
They are anime movies, but they're not. It's not a
Well, yeah.
TV show. It's not a TV show.
It's not
So
like Persona 5.
yeah,
Okay.
um, I haven't seen them all. They took a while to get translated, but I saw the first two. I do. I've been meaning to go back and actually watch them, but I haven't quite got there yet. Sometimes other stuff comes up, you know, and it's like
Right.
you just take forever. But for video games news, there was actually quite a bit of news this week.
Ooh.
Obviously, Fortnite's going to be in the news probably every week for everyone, period, that ever, obviously because they're just the biggest game right now. But they're skipping the Google Play Store. So they're coming to Android, but they're not putting it on the Play Store. I don't know, do you see that?
I didn't. So where are they putting it?
They're putting it on their website or whatever through the Epic. So you're going to have to download
So
it. You're going to have to download an APK file, you know, to put it on your phone. The reason they're doing that is because the Google Play Store takes 30% of all profits that go through their store. So, you know,
Okay,
they're
so
the
that
biggest
includes-
ones out there. So they don't want to give up, you know. So if you're playing on Android and you buy a skin or whatever, 30% of what you pay is going to go towards Google. So they're like, you know what, we don't want to pay them 30%.
Interesting.
So we're going to, you know, have people download it from our site, which most people don't do because,
That's
you know,
what I was about to say.
protection wise is because most people, you know, if you're going to download something, you know you're getting it from the Play Store, you know it's the official one or whatever. Like, yeah, sometimes there's fakes on there, but that's really rare for like a big thing. Whereas,
Right.
you know, it's easier to come across like a fake site that looks like the Fortnite site
I
if
feel
you're
like
if you're not very
Sony's already
intelligent.
making that.
Yeah, if you're not very intelligent, don't realize you're not at the official Epic website. Which at that point you might as well just download it on your computer and transfer it to your phone.
Right. But I can see like Facebook messages of a spam site like, "Oh, this is where you download Fortnite," and then got all your info.
God, yeah, exactly. It's like that is how it could go. But I get like Epic's reasoning. They're making so much money. Like,
Dude, Fortnite took over the world.
it
Like
did. Like, battle
it's
royale games are now projected to make 3 billion this year. I think like that, just from battle royale games alone. Or what you got like Fortnite, PUBG, Realm Royale, and that's like it. Like,
those are the only three I could name. And Realm Royale was like recent. So.
Yeah, exactly. PUBG's been dying off, so you know most of that billions are going straight into Epic
It's
and Fortnite.
100% going to. There's okay, like Fortnite is crazy. Like everyone knows Fortnite. Like you know what also has like a huge influence? I think those dances Fortnite have actually.
Yeah.
I see like
No,
I
that
saw
was
people in the World Cup doing Fortnite
yeah.
dances.
You
And
know,
then Twitter would explode, be like, "That's from Fortnite."
it is, but like, which a lot of those dances are taken from other people. Like that's
Well,
another thing they've
yeah.
been getting a lot of slack in. Like a lot of those people that did the dance moves are trying to sue them to get compensation for their dances. Bunch of bullshit to me. Like
Right.
you
It's
can't
like
copyright trademark a dance, no matter how much you want to. Just because you popular like made it popular doesn't mean you were the first to do it.
right.
Those
Like
dances could have been around for centuries from some little kid back in the Middle Ages just playing around, right?
exactly. That's like some dude started wearing his hat backwards. He starts suing everyone who did it after him, like, "Hey, I did it first. I made it
That's
popular.
my style. Like,
That's my style."
and a lot of them, they're not doing choreography for it. It's just something they did in their mirror, right? And they're like, that
Right.
doesn't look bad, and I'll just do it. And people liked it or whatever. Some people are gonna have different opinions than us on that, but for me, that's definitely how I feel. Um, but yeah, Fortnite's definitely taken over. It does make me think like, how much does, because it's on Apple right now or whatever, iOS. How much does iOS take in percentage? Like a lot less than Google then?
It's got to be less, or I'm assuming they wouldn't have done the deal.
Yeah, exactly. So if they weren't going
Like,
to go Google, whose Android's significantly greater. If you look at phones sold this quarter, this year, or whatever, up to date, Samsung sold 83 million smartphones. Apple sold 41 million.
jeez,
That's
I'm surprised.
That's 2 to 1. Like,
I'm very surprised Fortnite just wouldn't take the hit, and because I feel like the reach of the audience would outweigh the amount they lose, right? Like if you get X amount of customers
yeah,
making 100%, but you quadruple your customers while taking a 30% hit, I feel like, I mean, those are obviously made up numbers, but I feel like there's a certain number where it's better to take Google's deal.
yeah, especially if you're getting twice as many customers, or whatever. It makes me think
Right.
like Apple's taking away like 10% or something
Right.
at tops. But yeah, that's Fortnite, yada yada. The other thing is, I don't know if you saw Riot Games. Mark Merrill, one of the founders, did an interview a couple days ago, talking about how they are working on developing other games. So not just like, and they're not saying it doesn't have to exist within the League of Legends universe.
So they'll officially become Riot Games instead of
he did
Riot
say we're
Game.
going to put the S back in it. This is what he said, quote, "The goal for Riot Games moving forward is to release a handful of big games every decade. Imagine Riot Games as a developer, plotted out from a single circle of League of Legends. Over time, Riot will add new games, and those new circles, one for each game, will form, more and more," end quote.
A handful each decade.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So he did tweet out earlier, like a week ago, "Would you guys like to see an MMO from us?" And then he told Variety it was a joke. And then he did an interview with Variety saying it's not, it could be possible. He says, quote, they ask him if he was working on MMO. He says, "Well, I'm not going to answer that directly. The question that is really interesting and relevant is, what does the future of MMOs look like? I think we have a view. Others have a view. Players have a view. World of Warcraft continues to be a dominating game. There's a really good argument that going head to head with WoW may not be the best move, but who knows? We're exploring a lot of stuff.
That's interesting. He's either just teasing everyone or
Because they released that interactive map of Runeterra, I think is what the League of Legends world is called.
right.
That
Well,
looked actually really cool.
When
But
you mentioned like Riot was going to, try and make a handful of games or a handful of dominating games, the first thing I thought of was actually an MMO because like they seem to have a lot of
like they
like
have a
playing
lot of
League.
lore and a really
That's what I was
cool
gonna say.
world.
They seem to have. They're really good at like building a world and building lore behind cool characters. So I could honestly see an MMO. That would be if
Here's the
Riot
issue:
does
like,
it
they
right.
have trouble with roles, right? So is there? Would everyone pick the tank in the MMO because the tanks don't do more damage than the
Oh
damage dealer
jeez.
rangers?
I feel like in an MMO they would
I feel like
have to
they would probably do better.
define it more. It'd be
Yeah.
like this tank is actually a tank, not a bruiser or a truck that hits you and
Yeah. And like, they have a decent amount of races to play with, and you give yourself like give the player a character creation. Choose your race. Like you got your Yordles, you got your like mermaids like Nami. You got like
That's what I was about to say. I wonder if it'll be like League inspired or if it'll probably be League inspired, but I mean, I wonder if it'll be like a League MMO. Like keeping the same like, oh, here's the Yordles, here's the Noxus, here's the Demacians.
I mean, I think it would be much easier than creating a whole new story.
Right.
And a world.
I think that would help attract players like, oh, we're building an MMO based off of all the characters you guys already know.
Yeah, he mentions that they might be big, but it is a niche market that they're in. Like those players playing that really don't play too much else. Like, they're playing League of Legends and stuff. And he's like, if you can keep it to that League of Legends theme, you're definitely going to have crossover. And then people who don't play League of Legends anymore, kind of like me, I would be interested in coming back to like an MMO.
Yeah, same here. I'd be any MMO. I feel like the MMO like space is very top heavy. Like there's a few good MMOs and then everything else is just like a cluster of random stuff. It's like hit or miss. Either you're gonna love the MMO and it's really hard to get into an MMO. So
yeah, like especially since a lot of them are based on monthly subscriptions, like
yeah,
it's really hard to decide which one you want to play, how much time you want to put into it, like will you like it, not like it.
Right, just the genre requires like time commitment just because most of them involve like grinding. But if you play one you like and enjoy, it's like, well, I love every second of it.
So yeah, it's interesting to see what they do. They're a handful every decade, so they're overdue. He did say they were working on some stuff, like just for fun. They said maybe it will stick, maybe it won't stick, or whatever. But they have been working on stuff, so it's interesting to see because they even said it might not have to do anything with like the League of Legends world as well. So that makes me assume they're also working on something not within that League of Legends world, but they're also working on something within the League of Legends world. So it's gonna be a card game, League of Legends card game. I know it. Calling it
that
now.
Wouldn't surprise me actually. Card games are very, I feel like they're not easy to make, but like it's an easy train to jump on and they're easy to profit off of, I guess.
Maybe like I feel like to me
I guess it's a cynical way to look at it, but
I feel like it'd be hard just because I feel like I don't know, at least me as a card player, like I play around with different card games, but I always end up going straight back to Magic the Gathering. And now Magic the Gathering has Arena where you can play it on the computer and stuff, like easily and stuff. And it's like that's where I'm at. Like there's a lot of Magic Gathering players that are the same way. It's like really hard to go from game to game or whatever. You might spend some time with one game, but then you're gonna go right back to where your roots are.
Yeah, I could see that.
But yeah, I think that does it for Riot Games quite a bit there. The other big stuff is BioWare did announce, as we quote, "We hear loud and clear the interest in BioWare doing more Dragon Age and Mass Effect. So rest assured that we have some teams hidden away working on some secret stuff that I think you'll really like. We're not just ready to talk about any of it for a little while. So, for
The
me,
wor- the wording of that is so fun. Hidden
end
away,
quote.
like they're in a dungeon. Work on the games.
I mean, it doesn't quite specify they are working on Mass Effect. Dragon Age, we know there's been leaks and stuff that they have been working on Dragon Age. So, I mean, Dragon Age and Mass Effect are two of their biggest series, like outside of like some of their other stuff. Obviously, they're working on Anthem right now, but Mass Effect is something I'm always willing to see more of. It's one of my favorite series. Even Andromeda got a lot of hate, but I still enjoyed that game a lot. Dragon Age is like hit and miss with me, but I don't care too much what they say about that. But the fact they're talking about Mass Effect is happy to me because a lot of us thought it was dead after Andromeda.
I don't think I've actually played either. Maybe for a bit, but I haven't actually like did a full sit down playthrough.
I would highly recommend Mass Effect. It's a good shooter RPG. The story is just incredible. I beat the first one like 7 or 8 times. You know, that's 40, 60 hours playthrough every single time. Both male and female, just so I could see the different stories, because there's a lot of different ways you can take the story. So it basically plays to your play style. So
Yeah.
massive loop there. But you know, that's just some good news to get out there for, you know, you Mass Effect and Dragon Age fans. The other big news would be Persona Q2 was announced during today's episode of Persona 5, episode 18, 17, whatever it was.
18.
18. So it's hitting Japan. I think it was it this month?
It was another series.
Yeah, Persona Q2 is a video game. So Persona Q is a crossover of Etrian Odyssey and Persona. Etrian Odyssey is a first-person dungeon crawler game. It's really unique. I'm not a huge fan of the Etrian Odyssey games myself, but Persona Q was actually, it took like combat from both of them, mashed them together, and then kept like the world like. Persona Q is the characters from Persona 3 and Persona 4 come together through the power of the Velvet Room and stuff. Because obviously they're from different time eras, basically. Right. But it came during the same like high school years, so some time manipulation there. And then Persona Q is going to have Persona 3, Persona 4, and Persona 5, which so will be the full cast. And they're also bringing in the female main character from Persona 3, which is the only one to have a female character you can select, but only in the PSP version. So, which I never played, so I never got to experience that.
Very interesting.
Probably wouldn't have experienced that just because to me it would be a different game. But so November 29th is when the game's releasing in Japan, which means maybe a year before it comes to the US. Kind of like Persona 5 and Persona 3 got dancing games that came out in Japan back in like March. Still haven't got them here in the US yet. Like, I'm pretty upset with that. Hopefully we'll get that soon. So
yeah, those are always long processes.
Yeah. But yeah, games had a decent amount of news with that. I feel like they always do, just because
there's always stuff going on in the gaming world.
Yeah, it's massive. So topic wise, I don't really jump too deep in here. You know, you don't play too much like single player games. You're mostly stuck in your multiplayer realm.
Yeah, I've transitioned to like multiplayer competitive games, but I feel like recently there's just been nothing that's caught my attention. I mean, I play Fortnite with, you know, my friends, you and others. But other than that, I don't play too much of like other games. I haven't seen a game yet that's really caught hold of my attention.
Whereas I'm like, you know, I get 1 or 2 games a month that really grab my attention. Next month is pretty big. September has a lot of big games coming out, at least for me. Actually, just in general, has a lot of big games coming out. I don't know any enough to pull your attention. As far as plays out this month, to me, there's one game that comes out. It's by the Harvest Moon creator. It's like Dragon cafe or something like that. Basically, you're raising a dragon cafe. But
Dragon Cafe.
I was a huge Harvest Moon fan, so seeing the creator come up with something, it's like the same Harvest Moon kind of style. It was weird. It's a farming game, but I love it. Yeah, so nothing too topical wise here. Like, I put here like, what game do you tend to always fall back to? Obviously, I know the answer for you. Probably RuneScape.
Yeah, I feel like RuneScape's it's always been there, and I always go back to it. Just like it said in I don't know if you've seen the RuneScape documentary, but it's actually really interesting. But the creator said, and this is a quote that's very fitting: "You don't quit RuneScape, you're just AFK."
That's true. Like, man, I've been playing it my whole life. Like, even I fall back to it sometimes.
Like something about it just brings you back. I don't know what it is. It's just like right now I'm really enjoying it again. But there's been times where I'm like, I couldn't play like 10 minutes of it, but now I can. It's weird.
It is that. It's like you have to take month breaks at times, right? It's like, and then you come back and it's like, I'm all recharged. I can play for a couple months and then I'm off for like a little bit. So for me, it's always Call of Duty. Black Ops 4 beta's out right now. I'm grinding the heck out of it. So it's like, yeah, like I know every year I am one of those guys every year that buys it, but
oh no,
it's hard to find. Like, there's really not too many other shooters that compete with it in its style. So I'm not really a fan of Battlefield, which is like the only other shooter within that same like style, I guess.
Right. And I mean, other shooters like Halo, that they've lost my attention quite a long time ago. So, which is unfortunate since it was one of my favorites.
The fact with Infinite coming to PC, maybe that could grab your attention for a bit.
That could spark it back up, honestly.
I might grab it just because it'll be on PC.
Yeah, same here.
Did I play Halo 5? No, but it wasn't on PC.
I
don't own an Xbox. I used to own an Xbox. I don't now. So, whereas I own a PS4.
Yeah, we've also definitely. Well, I've pretty much transitioned from console to full PC. Like back in high school and even college, I'd had console, but now it's just all PC. My Xbox One is a great
Xbox did it to where you could have it on PC, so there's no point to have an Xbox. Whereas PS4, they don't own a computer line like Microsoft, so they have to keep their exclusives. But the other thing I put down for this kind of last segment is movies. Obviously, I'm way behind on movies. I think you're way behind on movies.
I'm way behind.
The only thing I brought up was like the Alita Battle Angel trailer, just because you watched the trailer right before it.
I did not. Did you link it to me?
No, I didn't. I thought you were looking. I thought I said I was going to, and then I didn't.
And wait, what's it about exactly?
So that's the thing. I've only watched the trailer. So it's apparently an adaptation of a manga that ran from 90 to 95. It's by James Cameron, the Avatar guy, and then the guy behind Sin City.
Just the guy who has like the most successful movies of all time.
Yeah. So him, the guy behind Sin City movies are kind of meh. And then it has Christopher Waltz for the main like actor who's with Alita, which Christopher Waltz is the Nazi guy in Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
So
this is very.
So Alita's like the last.
Looks like. Oh, I was about to say the main character looks like what I'd imagine an anime character brought to life would look like.
Yeah, so she's actually like special in the fact that I think she's like a cyborg. She has a human brain. The rest of hers, but the others are just standard AIs. What it's about? I don't fucking know. But I just thought I'd bring them up because it is based off of manga. Normally, adaptations to live aren't that good. But this one piques my interest just because of the names behind it.
Right. I mean, if you have top tier directors like that, it's got to be at least decent, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
But yeah, it looks interesting. I'd check it out.
Yeah,
I'd definitely check it
I
out.
feel like I'm going to, just because we're anime reviewers. I feel like we need. It's part of our duty
It's
to
part of
watch
our
these
duty.
adaptations.
Yeah, it's to torture ourselves with them for the
Yeah.
most part.
Oh, I torture myself with some. Okay, the Death Note movie.
Oh
I torture
God.
myself with that. I torture myself with the Full Metal Alchemist live action. People might tell you otherwise on that one, but they're wrong.
I don't know what the deal is of making them live action. Like, why?
I think the whole reason is to bring it. It's like the whole thing of like, why do you want video games to have movies? Like, it's just to bring it to the audience outside of those realms. Like, somebody who's
True.
never watched an anime might be more interested in that movie,
I could see that.
and they might
But I
have a
mean,
different take than us. So, like, some people that watched the Death Note movie who didn't know anything about the anime kind of liked it more.
that would make sense. I feel sorry that they haven't witnessed the true goodness of Death Note, but I that makes sense. But it they just never ever go well with the anime community.
No, even with like the video games, dude, they never go well. Like,
Right. Like it's well, I think it's because everyone has their own expectations. Well, even a general expectation. It's like if you're gonna take something and use its fan base to pretty much make something that's already like been established, it better be good.
yeah.
So like the bars already rose from there. Like
So like, there's not really. I haven't seen like the new Tomb Raider movie yet. I didn't care for the original movies. I do love the game, so I am planning on watching that. But then, like, the only one I can think of that I actually didn't mind was the World of Warcraft movie. It actually wasn't that bad in my mind opinion. And then the Dead or Alive movie was just fun. It's not a good movie, but it was fun.
right, there is
Uh,
going to be a Halo
TV series.
TV series. Yeah, that could be because that has another big director.
Steven Spielberg.
That's it. That's definitely it. So that could be interesting. I mean, people have only been asking for it for years.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies that are in the work for video games. Call of Duty has a cinematic universe set up, so I don't know how that works in Call of Duty. Like, we're fighting World War II over here, and these guys are fighting World War III. Cinematic
Right.
universe, they come together, and then now they're fighting World War II and a half, and it's like, what's going on?
Two and a half. Two
I
and
don't know
three
how that's gonna work,
quarters.
but I mean, like, if it's you just Call of Duty has good stories in it.
I
Like,
would say it could just be a bunch of one-off stories.
yeah, but they said a cinematic universe. That's what's weird about it. So I don't know how it's gonna work because, like, you can make a good war movie, and then just like if you could put the Modern Warfare movies like story into like one movie and probably have a good movie.
Yeah.
So, and then Gears of War has been in the works for like 2 decades. Kind of like Halo, all
Right.
this stuff that's been talked about never comes
I
out.
feel like they're just such high expectations. Like you have to do it right or you're gonna just get dumpstered by everybody.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm
We'll
excited for some though, so
Yeah, like the ones that get pumped out quickly are the ones I think that end up having issues. Like Assassin's Creed came out pretty quickly.
yeah.
Don't care less about that. But I think this hits all the main topics for
Right.
today in this podcast. So
The
normally
podcast.
we'd end off with like listeners, like feedback, questions, corrections, reply, anything like that. But again, this is the first episode, so there's none of that. So if you do want to do any of that, just leave it in the comments section below on the YouTube video. Email us at couchtalkyt@gmail.com or DM us on Twitter at couchtalkyt. So all the same there. But,
Yeah, that was I hope everyone enjoyed that as much as we did.
yeah, good conversations. I felt like.
Yeah, I liked it. This will
Uh,
probably be a week to bi-weekly thing.
Yeah, just
We still probably have some scheduling we need to figure out, but
yeah, exactly. And then like maybe it depends on how news heavy a week is too. Like if there's nothing happening in video games or anime, we might not talk about anything.
right. But yeah. That's it. You want to take us out?
Yeah.
You
So
wanna...
everyone, thank you for listening for We Be Talking. Please, like, share, subscribe over here, anything like that. It all helps tremendously. Just want to, enjoy some conversations with everybody.
Feel free to bring up any topics he wants to talk about, like over, I guess, anything really.
Yeah, anything. So yeah, today was mostly anime and video games, but it might not be like that every week. Maybe we find something that was interesting and some other thing, like maybe science, like maybe NASA discovers something. Because I do love talking about NASA stuff, so you never know. You never know. If there's anything like that. So
Yeah.
Until the next episode.
Woo!
Peace out.
See ya.